Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive. So
Mhm.
we've been going through some really cool stuff that you all sent in about making the most of your mornings, especially when it comes to boosting productivity and staying motivated throughout the day.
Yeah, what's really stood out to me about this whole ultimate morning routine thing is how well structured it is. It's not just like throw a bunch of feel good habits together and hope for the best. It's like
Yeah.
a step by step plan to kind of build momentum right from the second you open your eyes.
That's exactly it. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're not just going to skim over the 7 steps. We're going to break them down. We're going to look at the why
Mm.
behind each one.
Yep.
How can you make this routine work for you? How can you tailor it to really hit your goals? And, the source material breaks it down into these 7 clear steps. So let's just jump right into that first one, waking up early.
Okay, so the big idea here is waking up maybe like 1 or 2 hours earlier than you usually do. And I know what you're thinking, but I need my sleep.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Totally. But here's what the source points out. It's not about cutting back on sleep. It's about shifting your whole sleep schedule. Like if you want to wake up earlier, you got to go to bed earlier too.
Exactly. You got to make that adjustment so that you're not actually losing sleep. And, if you think about it, those extra 1 or 2 hours, especially when everything's still quiet and peaceful in the morning,
Hmm.
it could be so valuable for focusing on work or just having some time for yourself.
That's a great point, especially in today's world. How often do we actually get that kind of uninterrupted time?
Rarely. And, the source also says that you don't have to make a huge jump all at once. Start by setting a consistent wake-up time, and then maybe move it up by 15 minutes each week or something like that.
Small changes over time, that's the key. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people can actually do that pretty easily.
Totally. It's much more manageable than thinking, okay, tomorrow I'm getting up at 5 a.m.
Right. Yeah, nobody wants to do that.
All right, so you're up a bit earlier. What's next? Step 2 is all about hydrating and fueling your body.
Sounds simple enough, but the source gets pretty specific here. Like, the first thing they say is to drink a full glass of water with lemon.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Like, why lemon?
Right. Well, they say it helps jumpstart your metabolism and it can help flush out toxins. Plus, let's be real, after sleeping all night, we're all a little dehydrated, so getting some fluids in you right away is crucial.
Definitely makes sense. And then, of course, comes breakfast. The source really emphasizes breakfast as the key to having steady energy all morning long.
Yeah, and they've got some good examples like smoothies, oatmeal, eggs, stuff that's packed with nutrients.
And just as importantly, they say to avoid sugary cereals and pastries.
Yeah.
That's got to be because of the whole energy crash thing, right?
Yep. You might get that initial sugar rush, but then you end up crashing hard a couple hours later. Not exactly a recipe for a productive morning.
No, not at all. So we've hydrated, we fueled up. What's next on the agenda? Step 3 is all about movement. Time to get the body going.
I like how the source points out that this doesn't have to be some crazy intense workout. They recommend just 20 to 30 minutes of movement, something to get the blood flowing.
Yeah, that's definitely more doable for most people. And they give some pretty diverse examples too. Yoga, a brisk walk, a quick home workout, even dancing around to your favorite music.
Exactly. The main goal here is to get those endorphins pumping, which can seriously boost your mood.
Right. It's not about setting any fitness records. It's about just getting yourself moving and energized.
And the source even calls this a win that can set a positive tone for your whole day.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Starting your day with a sense of accomplishment. That's powerful.
It really is. So think about it. What kind of movement do you actually enjoy doing? What could you realistically fit into your morning without feeling like it's a chore?
Great question. Okay, so we've taken care of the body. Step 4 takes us inward with mindfulness.
This is where the routine suggests spending 10 to 15 minutes on something that helps calm and center your mind, like meditation, deep breathing exercises, journaling, things like that.
Now, I know some people might be new to mindfulness, and the idea of meditating for 15 minutes can sound kind of intimidating. But the source actually says to start small. Even just 5 minutes of focusing on your breath can make a difference.
It's all about consistency. It's better to do a little bit every day than to try and do a lot once and then give up.
Totally. And I think the source also makes a good point about how these seemingly simple techniques can really help reduce stress and improve your focus.
Yeah, and they also talk about journaling as a really useful tool, like writing down your goals for the day, affirmations, things you're grateful for.
Oh, that's a good idea. Putting those positive thoughts out into the universe.
Exactly. It's like a way to intentionally shape your mindset right from the start.
All right, next up is step 5, planning your day.
This one feels essential, right? Like you've got all this energy from the previous steps, now you need to channel it effectively.
Totally. The source recommends spending just 5 to 10 minutes on this. Review your bigger goals, figure out what your top priorities are for the day.
They even suggest using a planner, an app, or just a notebook to keep track of everything.
And I love the question they suggest asking yourself. What will make today a success?
That's a great one. It forces you to think about what really matters, what's going to move the needle.
Right, instead of just getting bogged down in a to-do list a mile long. And the source says that this kind of proactive planning can make you feel way more organized, in control, and less stressed.
Makes sense. If you know what you need to do, you're not wasting time and energy figuring it out as you go.
Absolutely. Okay, step 6 is learn or read. I'm really intrigued by this one.
This is where the source suggests dedicating 15 to 20 minutes to learning something new or reading something inspiring. It could be a chapter from a book, a podcast, a video, anything like that.
So it's not just about passively consuming information like scrolling through social media. It's about being intentional about what you're taking in.
Exactly. The source really emphasizes the idea of continuous learning and personal growth. And they give some good examples, like an entrepreneur reading a business book or someone interested in personal development listening to a motivational podcast.
I like that. It's like setting the tone for the whole day. A day of growth and curiosity.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment either. Just 15 to 20 minutes can make a difference.
All right, and finally we come to step 7. Visualize success.
This one's really interesting. The source basically says to close your eyes and really picture yourself achieving your goals.
Like really vividly imagining it, seeing yourself succeeding.
Exactly. And they talk about how this is a technique a lot of high achievers use. It's about programming your mind for success, boosting your motivation.
So it's like mental rehearsal. You're getting your mind ready for the real thing. And they also mentioned pairing this visualization with positive affirmations.
Yeah, like saying to yourself, I am capable, I am going to crush it today, things like that.
It's all about building that confidence and positive self-belief.
Exactly. And if we think about it, that kind of mindset is essential for achieving anything worthwhile, right?
Absolutely. So there you have it, a deep dive into this ultimate morning routine for productivity and motivation. It's really all about starting your day with intention, with a focus on taking care of your mind, your body, and your overall well-being.
Exactly. The source makes a strong case for how shaping those early hours can set you up for a more successful and fulfilling day. It's about being proactive, designing your day, not just reacting to whatever comes your way.
So the big question for you listening is, what's one thing from this routine that you might try incorporating into your own mornings?
And maybe even think bigger. How could adding just one or two of these elements change your day, maybe even change your life in the long run? It's amazing how those small choices we make each morning can add up over time.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.